Good morning, class. Welcome to your science class. Let's start our second video of chapter 10, Respiration in Organism. We already discussed 4 points of this chapter in our first video. Now, we start with our fifth point of this chapter. What do we breathe out? The air we breathe out is a mixture of carbon dioxide and moisture. This is cleared by this table. Here is the percentage of oxygen and carbon dioxide in inhaled air and exhaled air. First one is oxygen, which is mandatory for respiration. The air which we inhaled contain 21% of oxygen, that is more oxygen than exhaled air. On the other hand, exhaled air contain only 16% of oxygen. This is clear from the percentage of oxygen that the inhaled air contain more oxygen and exhaled air contain less oxygen. Now come to the next gas, which is carbon dioxide. Inhaled air contain less amount of carbon dioxide, about 0.03% carbon dioxide is present in inhaled air. But on the other hand, exhaled air contain more carbon dioxide as compared to inhaled air. The air which we exhale, it contain 4% of carbon dioxide, more carbon dioxide than inhaled air. Now next we come to the water vapor. These are the two main substances which are present in exhaled air. Water vapors are in very less amount in inhaled air, but exhaled air contain more amount of water vapor. This is clear from this activity that the exhaled air contain carbon dioxide and moisture or water. This is clear from this activity. Take a test tube and pour some lime water into it. Is it clear? Now pass the carbon dioxide through lime water or blow air through the straw into the test tube which contain carbon dioxide. So the lime water turns milky in color. This is an example of chemical change we already discussed in our previous chapter, which is physical and chemical changes, chapter number 6. This is the change in color is due to the formation of new substance, which is calcium carbonate, CaCO3, is formed when carbon dioxide is passed through the lime water, and this substance is milky in color. So this is clear from this activity that CO2 is present in our exhaled air. Now come to the next point, which is whether water or moisture is present or not. Now take a mirror and blow air on the mirror. A film of moisture is formed on the mirror. This activity is also performed at your home by you. This shows that the air we breathe out contains moisture or water. This is the diagrammatic representation of this activity. Now come to the next point, point number 6, which is breathing in other animal. This is breathing in human being, respiration in human being. Now come to the breathing in other animals. Many animals have cavities in their bodies just like human beings. For example, lions, elephants, goats, cows, snakes, and birds. Here we start with breathing or respiration in cockroach. Many insects, like cockroach, have small opening called spiracles. Spiracles present on the sides of the body, the margin lines of the body. Also, they have an air tube like structure which is known as trachea. Trachea allows the exchange of gases, that is, exchange between carbon dioxide from inhaled air and CO2 from inside air. In these insects, the oxygen-rich air enters the body through spiracles and diffuses in the cells via trachea. As we already discussed, trachea is the place where the exchange of gases takes place. Similarly, the air from the cells enters the trachea, which is rich in carbon dioxide, and moves out of the body through spiracles. Simply that the air which is enters through a spiracle into the trachea and then into the cell, which is inhaled air, is rich in oxygen. On the other hand, the air that comes from cell to trachea and then outside through spiracle is rich in carbon dioxide because it is exhaled air. This is the diagrammatic representation of respiratory system of cockroach. Now come to the next animal, which is earthworm. Earthworm have a soft, slimy and moist skin. Hence, the gases can exchange or pass easily in and out of the earthworm through its moist skin. Similarly, frog also have slippery and moist skin that can help in breathing or exchange of gases. However, frogs contains lungs too. Frogs can respire by skin or by lungs. Frogs generally respire through skin when in water and with the help of lungs when they are on land. Now come to the next animal, which is fishes or underwater animal. Breathing in underwater animal or fishes. Animals that live underwater have special respiratory organ known as gills. They are comb-like structure present on the skin of these animals. Gills allow the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide between animal and water easily. Fishes exchange gases by pulling oxygen-rich water through their mouths and pumping it over their gills. Gills have blood vessels which help in exchange of gases, that is exchange of CO2 and oxygen. CO2 from the blood enters in the water and oxygen from the water enters into the blood vessels by diffusion. The gills pushes the oxygen poor water, that is carbon dioxide rich water, out through the openings called gills. Some animals called amphibians can breathe on land by lungs and through moist skin under water, as we already discussed about frog, which can respire by lungs as well as the help of moist skin. They are known as amphibians. Examples are frog and toad. Now come to the last point of this chapter, which is respiration in plants. Respiration in plants. When plants respire, they also take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide with the help of stomata. That's why I say that in night cannot sleep under a huge tree, because tree expel out or give out carbon dioxide that cause suffocation, because carbon dioxide is heavier gas than the oxygen. As we all know, during daytime plants do photosynthesis. For photosynthesis they require CO2, or in the presence of sunlight they use carbon dioxide that we exhale out. Is it clear? But at night there is no sunlight, so there is no photosynthesis. That's why when they respire, they give out carbon dioxide but do not use carbon dioxide due to the lack of sunlight. And this excess of carbon dioxide causes suffocation. Due to the heavy characteristic, carbon dioxide comes down and they cause pressure on you when you sleep under a huge tree, or you inhale lots of carbon dioxide and cause the excess of carbon dioxide cause unconsciousness or suffocation. Now let's study the respiration in plants in detail. As we all know, plants also respire. They take in carbon dioxide present in atmosphere and use it in the process of photosynthesis to produce their food at daytime. As a result of photosynthesis, they release out oxygen in the environment. All the part of the plant can independently respire. That is, they can take in the carbon dioxide and release out oxygen in the environment. The leaves of plants have stomata. The leaves of plant have stomata present upon them, which are small pores like structure. Stomata is nothing, just a pore, tiny pore on leaves. They allow the exchange of gases in leaves. The woody stems of plant also respire. This is because of the presence of spatial tissues called lenticles. The cells of this tissue have large intracellular space. They exist as dead cells on woody plants and roots and allow the exchange of carbon dioxide and gases. The bark of tree, although is impermeable to gases, hence these tissues serve as an important part of respiration in the stems. Simply, stems can respire with the help of lenticles. The pores that you can see on the stem or bark region of a huge tree. As the name suggests, lenticles have lens-like shape. And the root of the plant have hair-like structure known as root hair on them. Hence, they can absorb air present in soil. This is the reason due to which plant can die if overwatered. Because overwatering the plant can clog the air space present in soil. As a result, roots will not be able to get enough air and the plant can die. So this is all about respiration in plants, or this is your whole chapter about respiration in organism, in which we studied in detail about the respiration in human being, respiration in other organism, and respiration in plants, breathing and breathing rate. Now come to your classwork. Your classwork contains 3 questions. First question is, what are the end product of aerobic respiration? As you already know, what are the end product of aerobic respiration? We already studied in our first video about aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration. During aerobic respiration, carbon dioxide and water are released along with large amount of energy. H2O plus CO2 plus energy in the form of ATP. Now come to the second question, which is, the cellular respiration process take place in which cell organelle? Name the cell organelle in which the cellular respiration take place. The answer is mitochondria. Mitochondria is the organelle in which the cellular respiration takes place. Now come to the third question, which is, the mountaineers carry oxygen with them because. Reason: at an altitude of more than 5 km, there is no air. Second reason is, the amount of air available to a person is less than that available on the ground. Third reason is, the temperature of air is higher than that of on the ground. Fourth reason is, the pressure of air is higher than that on the ground. You have to choose the correct reason why mountaineers carry oxygen with them. You all know the right answer is answer B, because the amount of air available on the hill stations or on altitude is less than that available on ground. That's why mountaineers carry oxygen with them. Now come to your homework. Your homework also contain, your homework contains 2 questions. First one is of true false. First statement is, during heavy exercise, the breathing rate of person slow down. Is it true or false? You all know, we already discussed about this in our previous video. Now come to the second statement, which is, plant carry out photosynthesis only during the day and respiration only at night. You have to choose whether it is true or false. And the third is, frog breathe through their skin as well as their lung. Is this a statement is true or false? You have to choose. Now come to the fourth statement, which is, the fishes have lungs for respiration. We just discussed about respiration in fishes. I think you know the right answer. Now come to the fifth statement, which is, the size of chest cavity increase during inhalation. You have to choose whether it is right or wrong, true or false. This is your first question. You can take the screenshot of your first question of your homework. Now come to the second question. This is, match the term in column 1 with those of column 2. Simply matchings. Column 1, first point is yeast. From these points from the column 2, you have to choose which is matched with yeast. Second point is diaphragm. This is related to which point? Third point is skin. Fourth point is leaves, fishes and frog. You have to choose the related point from the column B and match them. This is simply a matching. You also can take the screenshot of second question of your homework. Now come to the solution of homework 1, which is given to you in first video of this chapter. First question is, list the similarities and difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Firstly, we discuss about similarities. In both kind of respiration, that is aerobic and anaerobic respiration, food particles are broken down in finer constituent or simpler compound. Is it clear? This is the similarity between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Now come to the difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. First and most important difference is, in aerobic respiration, presence of oxygen is must, but in anaerobic respiration, absence of oxygen is the requirement. Second difference is, in aerobic respiration, high amount of energy is released. On the other hand, in anaerobic respiration, low amount of energy is released because partial breakdown of food is take place. Now come to the third difference, which is, most of the organism, including human beings, respire aerobically, or some organism like yeast, sometimes human beings, muscles of human beings, respire anaerobically. Fourth point is, carbon dioxide, the end product of aerobic respiration is carbon dioxide and water and high amount of energy. On the other hand, in anaerobic respiration, the end product is, if alcoholic fermentation, it is alcohol, or in muscles of human being, it is lactic acid. In alcoholic fermentation, carbon dioxide and alcohol or ethanol is formed as end product. Now come to the second question, which is of MCQ type. First statement is, in cockroach, air enters the body through, the right answer is spiracles. Second statement is, during heavy exercise, we get cramps in legs or any muscle due to accumulation of which substance? We all know, in human beings, lactic acid fermentation or anaerobic respiration take place in muscles, in which the end product of anaerobic respiration is lactic acid. So, due to the accumulation of lactic acid in muscles, muscle cramps are formed. Third statement is normal range of breathing rate per minute in an average adult person at rest. At rest is, we all know, is 15 to 18 breathing, exhalation and inhalation per minute. Now come to the fourth statement or last statement, which is during exhalation, the ribs, movement of ribs. We all know during exhalation, the ribs moves downward. Now come to the third question, which is of keywords. First keyword is breathing rate. We all know the definition of breathing rate. The number of time a person breathes during a minute is called his breathing rate. You also can check your breathing rate. You can check your breath per minute. Second one is diaphragm. Dome-shaped muscular and membranous structure that separates thoracic or chest cavity from abdominal cavity in mammal is called diaphragm. Next keyword is inhalation. Breathing in, taking in of air or other vapors is called inhalation. Fourth point is aerobic respiration. It is the process of cellular respiration that takes place in the presence of oxygen to produce energy from the food. So this is the solution of your homework. If you want to take screenshot of your solution, you can take. I hope you understand what I discussed in this video. You understand the whole chapter, which is completed in 2 videos. Thank you.